So I really loved Spider-Man Homecoming, there's no lie about that. I thought it was the perfect representation of the character. He was young, naive, and fun in all the same ways, but today I want to talk about the sequel. And this is going to be more of a ramble rather than a video essay or an actual video. It's just an idea I had that I want to share with all you guys. We know that Spider-Man Homecoming 2 is not going to be called that, and it's going to come out after Infinity War. But since I love the grounded street level aspect of this one, I would hope they keep that going forward. Keep in mind, I know some of this likely won't happen, it depends on where the MCU goes from here, but I'm treating this more as a direct sequel to Homecoming with a few Infinity War tie-ins. What we know is that another MCU hero is going to join him on his journey, so we'll start there. What I think would be really cool is if during Thanos' raid in Infinity War, the criminals in the Raft prison find a way to escape and are now back on the streets of New York. We open with Spider-Man taking one of them down, and they have advanced tech just like the Vulture. Maybe it's like Shocker again, but Spider-Man's partner in this is Black Widow. Keep in mind this story idea could also work with Captain America, but I have a feeling he may die in Infinity War, so I'm going to stick with Black Widow. They've been tasked with cleaning up the streets and getting these criminals back in the Raft. That was like the prison that the Vulture was in at the end credits scene. And there's a fun bit of banter between Spider-Man and Black Widow too. She's kind of like the big sister equivalent to him, kind of like how Tony Stark was the father figure. Aunt May's all shooken up since she knows he's Spider-Man, but she's calmed a bit knowing that Black Widow's helping him out, and they can have some good back and forth as well. Now for the movie's main villain, I'm choosing a guy that was set up in Homecoming and I would love to see more of. Matt Gargan, in this movie, is going to become the Scorpion, and we can get Michael Mando back, because I think he can add some great depth to him, and we'll get a different enough villain from the Vulture, but still keeping with the tech aspect, so you can still bring back Tinkerer. It looked like in Homecoming that after his accident on the ferry, he has limited mobility, and also uses the Scorpion suit to help him walk, but his one goal is to kill Spider-Man. He blames him for what happened, and we know already from Donald Glover's character Aaron Davis that Matt Gargan's pretty crazy already, so having him there connects it, and it allows us to bring back Donald Glover, who is very important in this pitch. In this, Peter would realize that Glover's character Aaron Davis could help them as he's a former associate of Gargan, and this is where tension arises as Black Widow is completely against the idea of them using a criminal in their operation. Peter then goes behind her back and approaches Aaron Davis, who's laying low now, and tries to convince him to help him. Here, we see what life is like for a guy seen as the criminal. He's not in a luxury lifestyle, and he does what he does to look after his nephew. And when he tells him about Scorpion, there's a moment where it's like The Incredibles, where he says, "This guy's not like the bad guys that you web up or the dudes from cartoons. Gargan will not care if you are a kid. He will kill you." Aaron Davis also tells him about a guy who used to fight crime when he was a kid, but didn't start out that way, and here's when we learn about Hobie Brown, a vigilante in another time period, maybe the 80s, who donned the Prowler name. And I want to treat the Prowler idea like a mantle, so I think it would add some cool world building. We can even have a small scene of Aaron Davis's nephew that he mentioned in Homecoming, who we all know as Miles Morales. But I wouldn't make him Spider-Man, because we don't need that story just yet in these movies, and Miles is already going to be featured in the animated movie, and it may get confusing for audiences. However, you could have a small scene where Miles meets Peter Parker Spider-Man and says something like, "Oh hey, I wish I could be like you," or you could even have him find out that Spider-Man is just a kid like him, and then have a heartfelt moment from there. Later on, I think Scorpion would use Davis to try to get to Spider-Man, and threatens to kill Miles, so Davis dons the Prowler outfit, and there's a fair bit of tension as he's conflicted with playing both sides, and this adds to the already given Black Widow tension. Eventually the movie would end up with a team-up between Spider-Man, Black Widow, and the Prowler going up against Matt Gargan, but those two would get injured during the fight, and then it's just a one-on-one, just like Peter and the Vulture. Using Scorpion can give us a new, scarier villain with added depth, and connect naturally from Homecoming without it feeling forced. The angle of Scorpion being the natural predator of the spider would also be a great nature theme to approach, and I think Mando would be able to play this character with such confidence, as seen from his performances in like Better Call Saul and Far Cry 3. I don't have much else than that, but that's my basic idea. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.
Yeah.